Hello and welcome everybody to this soul mission transmission. Yes, you are absolutely in the right place right now. Hello, hello, hello. I'm just bringing up the key essentials because I've just lost them. One momento. One moment. So if you have been feeling the intensity of the world right now, you are not imagining it. We are in a very, very strong activation window. Aries, as you know, is heavily activated. This is all about ignition, moving forward, and fire horse energy, big time, which I'll be explaining in a big, big way. But what I really want to say here is this stellium is heralding not just the fire horse energy, so much more, including genuinely what I see as the birth of the baby that is the age of Aquarius. So make sure you stay tuned throughout this session because there is so much that we're going to be packing in. There's just loads. We've got to, I'll come into it in a second. I just wanted to say that nothing is random right now. If you're feeling particularly fiery, just know that that's probably got to do with how many signs are in Aries right now that are in your chart as well. So the important thing is to anchor it. And I'll explain what that means as we move on. But we have something shifting. And before we go any further, for those of you who really don't know who I am yet, I am Rosanna, also known as RozyGlow. If you catch this on YouTube, thank you so much for subscribing and commenting and just being an active member, because that's how we grow the channel. And I am a channel for the StarPeace Collective and the originator of the StarPeace Consciousness Movement, which is all about co-creating a world rooted in love and founded in peace in one generation. What we do here is we don't just talk about change, we embody it. And you'll see how you can do that throughout this transmission. So stay with me because it's not just about information. We've got a full soul mission transmission coming in that will include light language activation at the end to activate the divine child codes in your field. No point in fast forwarding if you're catching this in the replay, because you'll want all the information that comes up through the session. This is part of what will activate the divine child codes in you. And so too, we're going to be working directly with the Aries stellium energy, so you can actually use it and not be overwhelmed by it. Right now, we have a really rare concentration of planetary energy in Aries. And I heard that even the new moon today was like an absolute once in a lifetime because of the configuration. So the sun's already in Aries, the Mars is in Aries, of course, Neptune is in Aries, Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries, Mercury has just moved into Aries. And basically, we're just here to get everything revved up and going. But this is not, I repeat, it is not about us pushing harder. Okay. And it's really important you understand this, because although it's about forward movement, and yes, the fire horse is gaining speed. If you've been watching, listening, anything I've been saying since October 25, and we were really talking about preparing for this energy to come in, it was all about the fact that this universe right now is responding to coherence, not effort. The game has changed. We'll explain what this means as we go on. But I want to take you back. I want to take you back, not to, the 31st of October, which was actually when we did get a very powerful soul mission transmission come through from the StarPeace Collective. This is about 1212. Do you remember the portal? The 1212 portal. This was around the same time that 3i Atlas was also the comet. Was it a spaceship? Was it a comet that was coming closest to the sun and then closest to the earth? If you missed this, we ended up in the Sun newspaper in the UK online with a huge spread on StarPeace and what star seeds are and what's actually going on. And I'll mention a little later the whole looking glass thing, but we know the last disclosure, or the last thing we're waiting for in the current play, state of play, is the aliens are landing, right? And all they're nefarious, and we must all unite towards a common enemy. No, 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 my friends. This is the sign that the old world as we know it is completely collapsing. There's nothing that can be done about it. And actually, yes, of course, there's some ETs, well, aliens that maybe are of nefarious intent, but the majority of them connecting to planet Earth right now, they're our friends, okay? And those of us who are starseeds, we recognize this. We know this on a soul level. I truly believe everyone is a starseed on some level. It's just whether they've had that activated or not yet. So, none of us are purely from this planet. We're made of stardust, okay? So that's why it's really important to get your head around that now if you haven't already. And if you didn't see what actually happened around 1212. I took everybody through a visualization, a healing, where we visualized the Trojan horse of peace, because that is how I was seeing the three-eye atlas coming through. It was like people were scared of it, but actually it was there with peace codes for us. And what it was doing was it was giving us back our superpowers. And I mean, these are talents that we have basically developed. We've got them. We're born with these gifts. We've forgotten them. We call them gifts, but they're not gifts. They're talents because we have earned them. And when I say earned, I mean we've worked hard for them. And we have such a strong association with working hard that part of our conditioning that we're all here to overcome right now, and this is part of what the stellium energy in Aries is teaching us to do, is that working harder in the new earth paradigm is not what it's all about. If we associate reward with effort, we're going to just live the old world again, right? There is this, it's this insidious thing that if something's come easily to us, we look the gift horse in the mouth. We're like, what's the catch? There must be something wrong with this because it looks too good to be true. And in the old world, we're told, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. If it sounds to be too good to be true, it probably is. And I'm sure everyone here has had an experience or two, whether it's with crypto, whether it's with, you know, an opportunity that seemed amazing, a relationship, and it worked out badly. Now, this just compounds, doesn't it? Those old beliefs, but we're not here for that. The whole point of this Trojan horse of peace that came back in 1212, it opened the portal for the higher horse. And for those of us who are starseeds with a very specific mission that I'm going to go into today, we started to reactivate superpowers that have been latent for a very, very long time. And for some of you, this will be clairaudience. For some of you, it'll be clairsentience. Some of you you'll just start to see visually what you couldn't see before. You sense things, you know things. I'm literally seeing this book come to life, and I'll bring through what that actually means as we move through. But essentially, you know, as an innocent, I downloaded this information. Was it fantasy? Well, it was coming through my dream state. It was coming through, you know, as instructions. And as I put it all on paper and kind of shelved it, now it's like, oh, that's happened and that's happened. So remember this, every one of us who is an ascended master in training, or who has received a level of mastership in previous lifetimes, we've come here to test ourselves. We're here on this planet with this test where we choose to forget everything we know and then see if we can remember again what we knew before. So when you're born at this point in time on planet Earth, you still go through a cloak of amnesia, not necessarily the next gen, but we have all been forgetting our superpowers. So you started to get them activated just before Christmas, and now you're going to have more and more of this coming online. So if you're scared of your power, please reach out. Okay, I support you to handle your power really well, so you can actually ground it and earth it and not destroy yourself or the world with your superpowers. It's very, very important. Okay, so this is the thing that's interesting. This weekend, as in now, between the 10th and the 20th of this month, there is another rare comet visible right now in the sky for the first time in 170,000 years, right? 170,000 years. The peak visibility is happening right now, just before sunrise in the eastern sky. Guess where? Near the Pegasus constellation. Like, hello. Well, when I go further down this, you'll see what I mean, because Pegasus has been showing up. The first person who introduced me to Pegasus is actually here in the Zoom room. It was Sandy. She came to visit me, and you'll have to remind me when you came to visit me, Sandy, when you brought me the lovely holograph of the unicorn Pegasus. And I was like, oh, it's both. I always used to think that unicorns had wings. I couldn't quite grasp that unicorns and Pegasus were different. And of course, those of you who know about alicorns, you know that they're the hybrids, right? So if you've been following what I've been sharing, you know that the Pegasus is not random, and nothing that's happening right now is random. So what I think is important for you to remember, because this is key, is anyone or anything you want to judge in the world out there, stop wasting your energy. There's no point. There's no point in trying to work out who's a goodie and who's a baddie, because no one's a goodie and no one's a baddie. They're all puppets that have been controlled for so long by external forces. Have they gone mad? Yes. Are they power hungry? Yes. Have they got birth trauma? Yes. Are they going to lead the new earth? No. We are. So please don't worry. Watch it. Okay, just watch it. It has to play out. Just as I said in my book, you know, in our universe, the light has won. That's just happened. It's already happened. All right. But we haven't had the memo here on Earth. So everyone's running around like a headless chicken, not realizing it's done. It's done. But it has to be brought to rubble. Now, I know that in real time, there are people suffering hugely, lives being taken, awful things happening, and all of this is coming to light. But that's not something you can change. All right. There's no point in you suffering with it. What's important is you hold your frequency in the highest frequency you possibly can, because that's our role. If we haven't got bombs dropping over us and we're not being raped right now and we're not having horrible things happen to us, then it is our absolute duty to call in the sunlight, to call in the good times, to anchor high frequency coding into the earth. It is a waste of your energy and mine to worry, to stress, to feel hopeless and helpless, and to hurt for others. It doesn't work. Okay, so please bear this in mind. Now, the things, as I said, that were seeded in 1212 are now getting activated. And we're literally 3 months to the day of when the fire horse energy kicked in. It was the 17th of February, I believe, was the new moon in Aquarius, was it? Yeah, I think it was Aquarius. So February, March, April, it's 2 months, not 3 months, 2 months since then. Okay. But the important thing is to just know that at this point, the energy is just going to keep building. We've got 10 months of it. So don't put your head under a rock. Don't wait for it all to be over and wish for it all to be over. What we're learning to do is to deal with this intensity. And there's a trick that I will share with you that changes everything. So let's just talk a little bit about the symbolism of now, because I've been sharing in my social media that if you've been seeing the phoenix anywhere, like symbols of the phoenix or dreaming of the phoenix, Pegasus, like on billboards, on people's cars, like it's just showing up everywhere. It's really weird. Unicorns and dragonflies, there's good reason for it. They're all part of this. So the phoenix has been about death and rebirth, but in particular, the blue phoenix is the antithesis of the black phoenix. And the black phoenix energy is like black mirror energy. It's been distorting everything on our planet. Whatever you've heard about Epstein, whatever you're seeing going on in Iran, whatever's going on in the US, it seems like people have gone mad. They really have, right? But this is the point, is the distortions have gone on for so long. We've always thought that's the way things are, but they're not. It's just happened for many generations. The blue phoenix is the liberation codes. It's actually the return of the divine mother energy. And it is linked to the sapphire flame, which is what we will work with in the next Celestial Alchemy Live, which you are invited to step forward to participate in. Now, the Pegasus energy is about acceleration into lift. It's about getting used to flying at new altitudes, taking flight. It's about expanding your wingspan. Okay, so your arms are the wings of your heart. We've all had to strengthen this. How many of you have had shoulder stuff going on, right? Because we need broad shoulders. We don't need to carry the world on our shoulders. We need to liberate ourselves from the heaviness we've been carrying, and actually to trust our hearts so that we can soar to new heights and not come crashing down. The unicorn energy is exactly about the Aries energy now, the divine child, the innocent. This is what it's all about. It's coming back to pleasure, coming back to joy, coming back to exquisite delight and pleasure for pleasure's sake. That does not mean being a thrill seeker for the sake of it and numbing out all the time. It's just learning to create from a different place rather than the external pressure and fear urgency that we're all used to. So the dragonfly is about transformation and multidimensional awareness. So dragonflies come out, they don't live very long, right? But again, the symbolism is huge. It is for all of us, butterfly, caterpillar to butterfly, dragonfly frequency, seizing the moment, being in the moment of now is absolutely key. Okay. So remember that to make the most of this fire horse energy, remember, it's maturing, it's gathering speed, and it's preparing to take flight. That's the whole point of this fire horse, right? And it's vital that we are resonating in coherence with what we desire rather than what we are used to or what we fear, okay? So you're going to see very clearly now where you've really integrated your highest self-consciousness, because anything that's not coherent, anything that is out of alignment, where you're not walking your talk, you're going to see it. Okay. You can't actually take flight if you're not balanced, if you're not centered, if you're not integrated into your midline. It won't happen. I actually had a dream of someone I know trying to take flight, and they were really like all over the place. And this is the point, is you kind of have to fall a few times to find where to do it. So now's the time to practice handstands in the garden. Now's the time to see if you can find your center point, so that you can actually access in you what it means to be centered. You don't know what that means. That's where a multidimensional yoga really comes in, and it's key, because typically in the old world energy, what we do is we go, oh, it's fire horse energy, it's yang energy. Okay, we're just going to go faster, 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 faster. Like, that's not what we're doing this time. You've got to root down to rise up. This is not about firefighting. It's about creating fire breaks. Those things that you want you to, but you've got to stop playing into the things that actually don't serve you. Like all the time you're getting distracted with things you think you should do, but you don't really want to do, rather than letting yourself develop the courage to fully align with the direction you want to go in. You are canceling out the energy you have available for what you want. It's like one foot on the gas and the other on the brake. And so what the fire horses are getting us all to do is to say, hey, you keep doing that, you're going to burn out. We're not here to burn out. We're here to, in a way, burn through the resistance of the past, to develop the courage. And this is a fire sign, Aries, right? We're coming towards the next fire sign will be Leo, right? The courage to lead from your heart, guided by your soul, and to actually align with the bigger picture of your dreams rather than what you feel is possible. You're going to have to absolutely reach for the stars to land on the moon, right? So just remember this, it's not failure. You've got to go as far as you can in terms of what your bigger vision is, and then you will get the download of the key next steps. So we cannot create anymore through hustle and stress. This will lead to more firefighting, and it's not what we're here to do. We have to create the boundaries that allow creation through joy and pleasure, fueled by love instead of fear. So that means those places you pull away from, you're going to have to lean into. Do you have a hard time talking about your prices, about your products, about your yes and your no? Do you have a hard time speaking up in relationships about things you're not happy about? This is not about blurting it out. It's about refining the message and being able to stand in your authority as you deliver it, so that less is more. That's what's coming through for you now. Now, our mission, those of us here who are attracted to these soul mission transmissions, into everything that I do through RozyGlow and Rosanna Hannis Consulting Limited, we're here to co-create Paradise Earth. This is the shift from surviving to thriving, and from living being fueled by adrenaline and fear to living being fueled by love, coherence, and oxytocin. So we're literally shifting platforms. Now, our mission is to activate the divine human code, to remember the time before the original fall, when the Paradise Earth codes were planted here, and the intention was to activate them. Now, we've all been on a trauma loop for a very, very long time, and I'm going to make a separate video about this. It's to do with when the Maldekians came to this planet and something really tragic that happened. And ever since then, we've been looping, and it attracted more and more of the trauma and the fear rather than what we were intended to be here to do. But now's the time where we get to experience what we set in motion all that time ago. And that is to experience creating through joy and pleasure. That is to learn what it's like to create in a physical reality with density, without attachment to outcome. And it's also about seeing the world of duality become a world of oneness all around us. We're literally collapsing war within, war around us, separation into unity. We're making it possible to let love win in a world where it has never been able to win. And this is really the shift from duality to unity. So some of you will know about Project Looking Glass. I mentioned it a little earlier, but the bottom line is this. You can look it up. I've read some very different, interesting things about it, including a time travel machine that Mr. T, the one in the US, has had access to, right? And interesting, the stories I was hearing about this in this children's book that was actually written in 1900, I think it was, that basically has his son's name in it and his name in it. Anyway, interesting, isn't it? If he's been able to go back and forward in time, and it's shown up in The Simpsons, and all sorts of things have happened. But whatever's been tried to be done, I don't mean by him, I mean by the deletes, we call them, but by anyone who has been seeking to control and dominate, right? The megalomania energy that comes from a lack wound, the fear and the lack wound, the trauma. They can't do it anymore. There's no way they can win. There is no way they can continue to create through destruction on this planet. It's not happening. The deletes are getting deleted. So if you like the sound of that, let's have a thumbs up. Let's have an aho in the comments, and let's have a subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, because this is it. Energize what you want. And today's star map card, which I picked for the Instagram channel, was what you focus on grows. So you really want to learn more about that and how to do that. And if you haven't heard about Project Looking Glass, please look it up. But the bottom line is we will start having more and more ET alien disclosures. And I think it's very important to remember that the StarPeace Collective, who I channeled to write this book, are the intergalactic super federation, right? They're all the galaxies in our universe that chose to unite towards a common goal, not towards a common enemy, and to create peace. And this is where it's got really interesting, because not only do we now have a comet and the whole thing connecting to Pegasus, but last month I discovered, and I shared a video about it, that in the end of January, a black hole that has been dormant in our universe for 100 million years, apparently. I mean, how does anyone know that, right? But apparently 100 million years is now reawakened. Now, in one of the opening pages of this book, I talk about the fact that all of the warships, all of the civilizations, if you like, all of the galaxies that wanted to continue to learn through suffering, through lack, they were all queuing. The warships were idling. They were in neutral, idling, waiting their turn to exit our universe through a black hole to create another universe where they could continue to learn through suffering. So basically, everyone on this planet who is on a soul mission still to continue to learn through stress, struggle, lack, they're going into that universe. All right? It's happening. Let it happen. It's not in your control. You don't need to control it. Now, this month's activation is the divine child activation. So if you haven't heard me talk about uniarchy before, we've had the age of matriarchy governed by the moon, the mother. We've had the age of patriarchy governed by the son, the father. Well, now it's like we've metaphorically banged mum and dad's heads together and gone, grow the frig up and stop leading from your wounding and recreating trauma one generation after the next. Mature, resolve, deal with your stuff. Oh, and now we have divine mother, father, and we have sacred mother, father energy, feminine and masculine energy coming together to birth the divine child. So this is the time where instead of us being born with a load of unmet needs and having tragic childhoods where we feel like we didn't get what we needed, even if we were lavished with attention and all the other things, we felt lack. This is where we get to rewrite history, her story, into our story. And we create a future where the divine child leads. Imagine knowing you were wanted, in knowing that you've been born into much resource, knowing that there's a plentiful supply of anything you could possibly want, the love and the support to help you create anything you want in this life. Doesn't mean it's going to be handed on a plate. What your mum and dad are going to do, and they're inside of you, by the way, is they're going to help you access the skills, everything you need to create and succeed at what you want. They will give you access to, and they will help you stay committed to being able to see through the challenges so you can hone the skills that will then allow you to have the experience you want. So what this actually means for you personally is any old trauma story you've got going on, anything you lead with in your introduction to people, anything that you slip in every so often, oh, it's because of trauma, oh, it's because of this. What's the trauma? What didn't you hear when you were growing up that you needed to? What weren't you given that you needed to be given? It's your job to access the inner mom, the inner dad, to tell yourself. Today, I literally created a voice message. I told myself exactly what I needed to hear to feel okay with what was going on in this now moment for me. That's your role too. We all can do that. We are co-creators of our reality. So this month's initiation between the new moon in Aries and the full moon in Scorpio is about clearing torture trauma, because we all have this memory having come in. persecution memories, and feminine betrayal. That's all coming after the divine child activation, because you must remember that we've all been born through wombs, right? And those wombs, the egg that made me was in my grandmother's body. The egg that made you was in your grandmother's body, right? Even if it was just the stem cell, not the actual egg, they reproduced according to those conditions. There's a physical impact from our grandmothers, which this has gone on however many generations. So there's been a lot of toxic energy that's needed to be cleared up. And previous generations didn't have the tools to do it, but we do. So just remember that we cannot birth the new while holding the trauma of the old. That's why the divine child has to process whatever trauma mum and dad haven't been able to process. We've got to clear it out of us to remember the joy of creation. And as we come into the new moon in Aries, remember that Aries is initiation energy. It's actually representing the Aquarian age, as I said. And I'm really seeing the water bearer as us. Every one of us is this vessel, right? And it's our job, in order to activate, I'm getting tingles as I say this, the Aquarian age frequency in us, the age of Aquarius. We're having to purify our internal waters. Every time you drink water, bless it. I am love, I am loving, I am loved, I am wonderful, I am amazing, I am abundant, I am joyful, I am a magnet for all that I want. It's all gone in there. Now you drink it. Purify your waters. Drink loads of pure water. Okay. Raw apple cider vinegar baths. Look them up. They're very, very good for you. The point is, purify the waters within. And remember that as we have the initiation and we have the vision coming from Aquarius, all of the current planets in Aries are getting us to become this. So our 2 I am statements for the new moon, you can write these down. I am the divine child. And just notice where you feel that in your body. I am safe to experience pleasure. I am safe to experience pleasure. I invite you to say these statements. Go out in the sun on a sunny day. Get your feet on the ground if it's comfortable and warm enough for you to lie down, maybe on a blanket or whatever. Say the statements. Notice where you feel them in your body. And then bring the sunlight in to bring the light codes in to clear any density, anything that feels contracted and unsafe with these statements. Bring the sunlight in to help to dissolve the density into light. And you can also tap on these areas as well, or just hands and breathe. Now, the key shift we're making with this new moon Aries energy is the shift from pressure to pleasure. It's literally creating from a sense of external urgency or activation of external urgency, causing us to feel pressured, to I'm rooted in love, my foundation is peace. That's the key. Now, the earth shift, there is so much going on. This only started to come through 3 weeks ago, okay? So there's a structural shift going on the planet now, from the very core of the earth, rippling outwards. And if I show you this, and this has come from the lovely Tim, who I met at the New Earth Festival, and he makes these beautiful organites. He's not Organite Tim, that's another Tim. This is Vortex Healing Tim, and I'll put the link in afterwards. Can you imagine this shape, but face downwards as well? So you've got basically a star octahedron, or a diamond octahedron, I should say. So this shape, but pointing downwards, connecting the two together. That is your diamond light body, okay? The center of the earth looks like that, but it's actually clear blue. The sides, what I was seeing was that it wasn't glass, it was crystalline, and it was topaz, specifically topaz frequency. The elixir, the liquid inside, is the paradise earth blueprint codes, the earth's codes, right? But we have codes too. We have codes in us. I was shown, it's a bit like, so say you're opening like a Stargate, yeah, or a vault, a really full of billions, right? A vault that no one wants you to access easily. And there's all these different layers of where access is allowed. So there are those who are meant to access the outer layer, and there's a middle, there's several layers. Some of us are meant to connect right to the core of the earth. And then we have other levels outside of us. Some of us are connecting through the mycelium network, through the crystalline grid, the earth chakras. Some of us are meant to be connecting through the divine matrix, the heart grid, the divine mind grid. We have different levels. Many people are doing land tantra at the moment, healing work on the planet. And all I'll say is the 144,400 that I'm here to work with are Paradise Earth Code Keeper starseeds. If you are watching this, you are one of them. And you are here to make a commitment to activating the Paradise Earth codes in your own life, your personal life, so that they can reverberate out into the collective. Now, part of this is activating the StarPeace codes. It's as above, so below, right? And we've been given, like, for example, yoga was given to us 5,000 years ago, right? But we weren't given all of it. Like, if you go to scriptures, if you go to the Bible, if you go to anything and go, this is where the answer is, it's not. It's distorted. Everything is distorted. What we were told is up is down. What we're told is down is up. Remember Alice in Wonderland, right? You have to get your head around the fact that everything you were taught to be true isn't true. This is the starting point. And then when it comes to activating the divine blueprint of planet Earth and the Paradise Earth codes inside of you, you will only ever be given the next level instructions. I've just been shown the fact that, like we all have fingerprints, the soles of our feet have soul prints, and they connect wherever we're meant to connect. And then there's a third element that activates it too. And some of this I just keep for my inner sanctum because we don't need it in the wrong hands, right? But the point is, you see under here, that's like the lotus of life. It's a vortex. The flower of life, the seed of life. Some of you will have heard this a couple of years ago. They were talking about the daisy of death and it doesn't take you back to zero but point. It's all true and it's not true, okay? We needed one to get to the other. Hexagonal timeline to octagonal timeline shift. Too much for now. It's in the book. But the point is, it's an exciting time. All right, it's very exciting. The waters are clearing. The sapphire flame's been reactivated. This is to help us clear toxins from our bodies, from the way we show up, the way we self-medicate, the way we numb out because it was just too painful to be here. Right, all of that's happening, and the sapphire flame helps. The blue phoenix is the divine mother energy coming back through, so we can remember what it means to be in the energy of the divine feminine. So lots of toxic femininity out in the world today. A lot of airy fairiness around what it means to be a divine feminine. And you know, I always have to say, when I'm dealing with divine feminine empowerment and I'm dealing with lots of single women that can't comfortably have a relationship, and the answer is, oh, it's the men, they're the problem. It's like, no, they're not. No, they're not. We need to actually get a balance here and accept we're very different creatures, right? So if that offends you, that triggers you, reach out to me. It's okay. I'm here to support you with that. Okay, the structure is activating the love feels it. That's basically what's going on with the core of the earth. So the diamond shaped octahedron is now replacing. I could see it rippling out from the core of the earth. There's different layers, including a city, right, to get to this. You can't just get into it. It's only available to you if it's part of your purpose to be connected to it, right? But the point is, whatever is available to you is meant to be. Go there. And if another door is meant to open, it will. If you were to look at the center of the earth moving outwards, you would see this octagonal diamond shape, lotus of life formation now having taken over. The grids look like that. They don't look like they used to. Okay, so here's what no one is saying, and this is what I'm going to share with you now. We were taught always with yang energy to push harder, to go faster, to force outcomes. And this is all a lie, right? All of this is designed to keep us looping, like the whole world has been looping. And we've been in this karma cycle and 7 chakra cycle. And, you know, it's one thing to plug in, it's another thing to switch on. Remember, you need to do both. So StarPeace codes, Paradise Earth codes, plug in, switch on. They're both relevant. You need them both. The real shift is this. What we're being called to do now, and I have a whole course that teaches you how to do this, It's called Liberation from Limitation. We're going to be running it again as a month intensive in June. You can do it in your garden. You can change your life because it changes your life narrative. And if you're interested in it, just comment LFL and we will send you information because that's coming very, very soon. But the point is this. Instead of going down the familiar route you're used to of, oh, I must brace myself. I must push down how I feel. Oh, I must force this. You're going to recognize that you're going down that route and go, oh, no, hold on a minute. I'm supposed to create from love, rooted in love, founded in peace, from neutrality, from a baseline that feels secure and safe so that I'm not building the Tower of Babylon. I'm just going to reverse back. I'm going to reverse back to when I had a variety of choices and I didn't know which way to go. And I'm going to, it's a metaphorical roundabout, basically, where you have different options, different ways you could go. You pull yourself back from the old way of doing things. You come into zero balance, which is in your body, your center, so that you can then access the 0 point field of pure potential, the quantum field. And instead of just looking around and doing what you think would work, you elevate your consciousness to get the bird's eye view, to see all the options available to you. And you let your heart lead you. What looks most attractive to you? Which way is most appealing? Okay, that's over there. All right, then. So we're going to get all of us to face that way. Not my heart, but my feet are going that way. Everything has to be coherent and congruent, right? And you then go in the direction that looks most appealing. That will collapse so many old timelines you don't need to be going down. And it will only give you what you need to go through, the obstacles, the challenges you need to face in order to be able to get where you want to go to. So don't go looking for trouble, my friends. We have to access the 0 point field through zero balance to get the bird's eye view, to then be able to collapse all the other timelines and commit to the choiceless path. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it is the most graceful, easy, and joyful way of you fulfilling your soul mission. Okay. This is a long session today. It needs to be. There's so much in it. So please just allow yourself to receive this. And remember, we'll be doing the clearing up for this in 2 weeks' time when we do the Celestial Alchemy Live. So this actually brings me to the point that you have to remember anything that's misaligned is going to collapse, and you do not force the path. You align with it. So the Scorpio full moon, which is coming up in 2 weeks from now, is actually the time that we're going to be able to do the clearing up of the maternal waters, if you like, the meconium in the amniotic fluid that would be toxic to the baby, the metaphorical baby age of Aquarius, right? So there are a lot of twisted toxic elements as a result of women having suffered as much as we have. And I think it's very important to remember it's one thing to seed intention as we do now in new moons. It's another thing to clear resistance up, which is essential. And that's what we do with the full moons. That's what I take people through in the Celestial Alchemy Lives. And these are all part of the StarPeace Paradise Earth Portal movement. This is the community, right? The basic level community where you come in, you show up once a month, you represent your tribe, right? Your collective, and you do for yourself what you do for your world. You are a galaxy, a solar system, a universe representing all those in your collective consciousness as you do this. So when we come together for the Celestial Alchemy Lives, we do the clearing work. And, you know, we're not just talking about the wounds that we're going to be clearing. We actually do it. We clear them from the body, the nervous system, and the energy field. It gives you a taste of what I do in my coaching work and what my coaches do with me. So this full moon in Scorpio, we are clearing witch wounds, persecution, betrayal, internalized misogyny, body memory, not being safe to be seen, not safe to be powerful. And in particular, we're clearing the trauma of women betraying women to save themselves, which was obviously a witch wound. It's something that had to happen. We had no idea that we would be killed as well. You could never actually save yourself. You didn't know that. It was tell a tale to save yourself, or you go, and then you were killed anyway, right? And many of us did our best to save those we loved, our children, our mothers, etc. So what we're seeding with the full moon is I am safe to be seen in my power. and expressed in my truth. I'm safe to be seen in my power and expressed in my truth. And this is absolutely essential, because the torture wound is physical, it's visceral. We can remember the horrific pain that has been inflicted, and it's still going on. It goes on all the time, right? So it's so important we clear this from our body, mind, spirit complex so that we stop recreating it, because that's all that happens. And if you want to join me for the Celestial Alchemy Live, you will join the StarPeace Paradise Earth portal, which we'll put the link in the chat box for that. It's the basic level entry to being a committed member, showing up. Remember, we need 10,000 active members to be able to fully affect the field. It's the square root of 1% of the population of our planet. So come on in, come on in. The moment we're making it very accessible, it's £14.44 a month, but that's only going to be for founding members. I think we're limiting it to 33. So we're already growing the tribe. Now's the time to come in. And after that, it'll be 22 monthly, or £144.40 for the year if you want to pay in advance. Just bear this in mind, because I want you in there, and I've tried to make it as accessible as possible. But it's important to know it's very deep work that we're doing, and your commitment is important. So just a reminder that the new game and the old game, things have shifted in a big way. So the old game was about competition, duality, right and wrong, good and bad. It was the chess game. And now we're in a new game, which is the puzzle pieces. We're all individual puzzle pieces. We have a divine spark in our heart. And we are here to connect with our adjoining puzzle pieces and create the big puzzle, which is the Paradise Earth puzzle. That's what we're here to do. So you'd have to agree with everyone. They're on the other side of the puzzle. It's okay. Just seek out the ones closest to you. You shine so brightly with them. You love being in their company. And this is how we complete it. Because this is about, it's not about competing anymore. It's about completing the picture. Now, we've got several portal activations coming up. We've got May Day, which is all about fertility. And then you'll have 5/5. You'll have 6/6, 7/7, and then the biggie for me is 8/8. So I just want to be clear that I am going to be offering something on the day of the solstice. Well, the day before, on the Saturday, the 21st, I think it is, or the 20th. I'm also going to be offering something for Lionsgate. These are in-person events. So the Friday the 7th to Saturday the 8th. More info coming. Just text, put a message in the comments if you're interested. And please make sure that you do you've joined a mailing list, or you are, somewhere that I can DM you. Okay. Because if you're on YouTube and you've commented and I don't have a connection to you, it's a bit pointless, isn't it? And I will be doing something in May as well around yoga, divine design alignment. So your divine alignment in your body, what that actually means, and how to deconstruct postures. So it's not about forcing it, but actually finding your divinity within the pose. It's beautiful. So this is all about preparation for the next cycle, because once we come to October, the new cycle begins, right? And of course, we'll have a few more months of the fire horse energy. But this year is about burning down what doesn't serve, controlled fires, right? And fire breaks to allow us to actually have what it is that we've been calling in all this time. But you've got to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Okay. So Paradise Earth Code Keepers, these codes are being reactivated in the Earth's core, and we are human channels. Those of us who are the Paradise Earth Code Keepers, you are one of them if you're here. We are human channels required to anchor the energies, right? So we've got, when I talk about divine architecture, this is what we do in the multidimensional yoga. You have a core line, right, which connects from source to Gaia. Some of us call it the Sushumna, but it's the core line, your inner lightsaber. Then you have the outline of your physical body. Then you have the outline of your light body, which will be a 6-pointed star, and then eventually a diamond octahedron. And then you have the outermost sphere of influence, if you like, your sphere of compassion, your reality bubble. And this, just having these activated, plugged in and switched on, is essential now. It's the absolute fundamental for any Paradise Earth Code Keeper. Otherwise, you will feel flat. You'll feel depressed. You'll feel anxious. You won't be able to metabolize this energy. Okay. And of course, all of those things will all be true if you haven't done a clearing of your cloud storage. So I'll go more into what that is later. But the important thing for you is just to know that whatever you can access, anything that's a stretch but is available, access. Your next step is always going to be required. None of us are here to just sit back and just relax, right? We want to create from pleasure, not pressure. But we also, growth is fundamental. If you don't seek out growth, you will get bored. All right. You're not here to waste away. All right. So remember that if you're resonating what I'm saying, you are a part of this, right? So please reach out to me if you're feeling this, because I'll be able to help you establish what your role is, right? I'm happy to have a DM conversation with you. Then we can see whether it's relevant to have a call. Ultimately, I only speak to people who are ready to commit to doing deep inner work with me personally. So that will either be one-to-one work or supporting in the coaching programs we offer. And I do want to say that I have been called to bring together 4 VIP days. Okay, so there'll be 4 of you leaders who are ready to get really coherent and to see with love and compassion where you're not coherent. Okay, with what you say you want, where you're walking, you're talking, you're not aligned. And it takes tremendous courage to let yourself be visible by someone else. So I really, I know we all have a front, but to feel safe to go, hey, this is where I am, this is what I think is going on, can you see? That's exactly what this is about. And coherence is my mastery. Okay, so remember also the wounded healer, we all teach what we most need to learn. So if you find it hard to step forward in what you're doing because you don't feel you're qualified, because you're still working on stuff, you may well be, and you always will be, but you'll be further along than those that you are here to support, right? And those who are here to support you will always be further along than you are. It's just the way it goes. It's not a hierarchy. It's just the way it goes. Okay, so let's just make these pathways clear. Then I'm going to go into the transmission, the activation, and the card reading. So if you are loving what is being said here, what is absolutely key in all of this is just to remember that, there is definitely a next step for you to take. The basic next step, if you've never actually done anything with me before, is to get involved in the movement, in the portal. We catch up once a month in a private Zoom space. And this is where we imagine into being the reality we want. So, for example, this next full moon, we're imagining into being the fact that it is safe for us to express ourselves fully and to be holding our gifts wholly and completely. So I am safe to be seen in my power and to express my truth. Just go with that, creating that, what that feels like, what that looks like for you in your life. How does that make everything different? And then from there, we clear resistance to it. And we do that from all levels of our being. We do it through a process called reality crafting that I learned from my teacher, Susanna Kennedy. And there's a whole load of different things we do that give you a taste of what I do inside of my deeper work, right? But the point is this: it's not a passive place. It's a place where we combine breath, sound, movement, and intention. And we're going to be bringing in more movement as time moves on, because it's essential to it. So this is where you create with me. This is where I work with you in real time. Your energy is as important as mine is in the synergy that we create. So we come together in a coherent field and we activate the reality we want to live in. We clear resistance to it. We embody it. We anchor it and we amplify it. So we are coherent in resonance, which means we can amplify in a collective and therefore be a magnet for what is resonant with it. Change your view of the world around you changes. Stage 1 is that. So if you haven't done it yet, that's your next step. If you have, your step beyond that is to join us for the multidimensional yoga, which is online. And this is twice a week live. We've got a whole library of classes. You could do one a day, if not more than one a day if you wanted to. And the point is that where the portal activates all of this in your field and your cellular memory, the yoga really gets you to anchor it, to embody it, to earth it, so that you have more capacity, more impact, more reach, and you clear faster the resistance that's in your way. Now, both of these are always part of any work I do one-to-one with clients or coaching work, that coaching courses we have. The Fearless program includes these, like they're part of it because they're so essential to it. And again, I just want you to know that there are so many options available. The important thing is to step forward. With the portal and the yoga membership, I don't take calls for that. This is just for you to explore. You can cancel any time. We would love you, though, to stay and to remember that once you're paying, you're plugging into a frequency, right? So even if you can't physically be there, your oversoul is there with us and it is co-creating with us. And you can catch the replays whenever you want. Don't step in and out. You step in and out, you're not committed. Like, just think in your life how you do things, the things that are not working in your life. What is the pattern? Commitment, persistence, patience, right? Perseverance. That's how you create new from old when all your resistance wants to try and get you to back away from it. And yeah, what I would say is this is the start of the Fear to the Divine Matrix upgrade, right? Which is the operating platform you've been born into. We've all been born adrenaline dominant, and we're learning to be oxytocin dominant. So we're learning to, instead of be fueled by stress and fear, to be fueled by oxytocin and by love. It's almost like if your car is used to running on petrol and you're actually going to run it on hydrogen. It's got to go through a conversion. And that's what your whole body, mind, spirit complex system needs to do. That's what we do with the Sacred Reset, Liberation from Limitation, Fearless, Loved Up, and Limitless, which are group coaching opportunities, those last two. The one-to-one work is for those of you who are in a position where you need the privacy, you've got access to the funds, and it's going to help you to influence those that you're here to influence on a whole other level. So reach out to me if you're interested, and we will take the next step. The important thing is that you reach out and I'll send you the right links. Okay. Now, we also have got free resources. We've got loads of stuff for those of you who just do not have any potential to be able to pay into something right now. If you go to StarPeace Consciousness website, you go to RozyGlow, there are freebies that we gift you. The important thing, and the Manifesting StarPeace Utopia Facebook group, got meditations there as well. I want to support you, but you've got to support yourself. This is all part of the process, right? Now, it's time to get into the activation now. So get up, have a little shake, do whatever you got to do. I'm going to just read out the transmission because there's a transmission that got channeled through the other day from the StarPeace Collective. And then I'll take you into a shortcut reading, which will lead us into the light language activation. And then we're done. So remember, everything I've said to this point is to weave you into this. So let us receive. Now, you don't need to think through this. If anything pops up, cool, you can listen back whenever you want. So, beloved soul humans, we are the StarPeace Collective, and we are delighted to be here with you now as we transmit from the core of the universe, reminding you that every one of you is a representative of us. We are the galaxies that chose to unite towards a common goal, the goal being peace instead of uniting against a common enemy. Now, your role on this earth plane is to make manifest in the physical realm what has already manifested energetically in our universe. The light has won. Star Wars is over. It is time for StarPeace. And yet you find yourselves in a world that appears chaotic, uncertain, and in conflict. And we say to you, this is not the end. This is the recalibration. You are in a powerful activation window. The Aries field is strong. The stellium is active and the new moon is amplifying the ignition point. This is forward movement and initiation. This is the fire horse gathering speed. But hear us clearly, this is not an invitation to push harder. That was the way of the old world. You were taught to create through effort, through pressure, through force, through speed. And this is what kept you in survival. What we're activating now is a completely different way of being. And it begins with stillness. You must learn to return to zero, to access zero balance within your body, to withdraw from reaction, from habit, from unconscious repetition. Because from zero balance, you access the 0 point field. And from there, you are no longer inside the pattern. You are above it. You see it clearly. You see the pathways available, the loops you have repeated, the opportunities that were always present but never visible. From this 360-degree awareness, this bird's eye view, you're able to choose consciously, not from fear, not from conditioning, but from alignment. Choose the most optimal path, the path of least resistance and greatest coherence. And as you align with it, that which is not aligned will collapse. You do not need to force it. This is how the new earth is created. Nothing that is happening now is random. Return to the 1212 portal. Return to the moment when the Trojan horse of peace entered your field. The codes were delivered then and they are activated now. This is continuation. This is why the symbols are appearing. The phoenix, the Pegasus, the unicorn, the dragonfly. These are not symbols alone. They are frequencies activating within you. The phoenix is the death of the old identity. The Pegasus is acceleration becoming lift. The unicorn is a return to innocence, the divine child within you. The dragonfly is your ability to move between dimensions. This is the fire horse maturing, gathering speed and preparing to take flight. And what is being activated within you now is the divine child, the part of you that was never broken, never sinful, never designed to struggle. You were not born to apologize for your beauty, your desire, your life force, your pleasure, or your power. And so this month you are shifting from creating through pressure to creating through pleasure. And as this activation occurs, what must be cleared will rise. The memory of persecution, the imprint of torture, the wound of betrayal, particularly through the feminine line, where survival required separation, competition, and distrust. This is not who you are. It is what you learned, and it is now safe to release it. It is safe to be seen and powerful and to express your truth. The earth herself is supporting this process. There's a structural shift occurring from the core outward. The blueprint is activating, the geometry is changing, not the flower of life, not the seed of life, but diamond architecture, the lotus of life. The earth's diamond light body is online and you are feeling it within your body. The waters are purified. They're being purified. The divine mother blueprint is restoring. The sapphire flame of divine love is rising. The Aquarian structure is the vessel and the divine mother love is what fills it, and you are part of this. There are those among you who are here as Paradise Earth Code Keepers. You will feel this deeply. You will recognize it. There are layers to this. Some of you are the core, some of you are the surrounding fields, but all of you are required to connect to the earth through the soles of your feet, through your body, through your presence, and to each other. This is how the grid activates. This is how coherence stabilizes. You are not here to compete. You're here to complete the picture. And this is only the beginning. You're moving towards the next amplification, towards May, towards fertility, towards the solstice, towards 7-7 and 8-8 gateways. This is preparation. And so we say to you now, if this is resonating, do not turn away. Step forward. Commit at the level you are able to become part of the field that is consciously creating a new reality. There is a place for you within this. For some of you, this begins by joining the StarPeace portal. This is where the field is stabilized, where the celestial alchemy lives take place, where activation and clearing happen together. It's where we can communicate directly through to you and you feel us in your bones. For others, you're called to embody this in your body through multidimensional yoga, where zero balance becomes lived reality. And for those ready, there is deeper work to rewrite the patterns at the root, to clear subconscious imprinting, to step fully into your next level. You will know your next step. Trust that. Do not delay it. The time is now. Because every one of you is a conduit for the StarPeace codes and the Paradise Earth codes. And whatever your next step is, it is one of deeper commitment to yourself, to this frequency, to this cause. We are the StarPeace Collective, and we are here to support you in clearing fear, clearing the memory of torture, and healing the betrayal that has lived within your field. This time is over, and now we guide you into an activation. We are complete. Let's see what the cards have got to say, and then we will finish with a very short little activation. Now, I can't tell you how real this all is. I know it can seem a little out there and far-fetched. And when I wrote this book, I had no idea that I was authoring something that was just going to be coming to life in front of my eyes. But that's exactly it. I am the creator of my reality, and I'm a universal consciousness. How about you? I used to be a galaxy. I told my daughter, I'm a galaxy and I'm a map. And she thought I was completely bonkers. And that's okay. That's okay. Not everyone is going to get you, including your nearest and dearest. You need to be around Soul Tribe. So let's just see here what the reading is to support us to activate the divine child frequency and to clear the wounds of the past, particularly the wounds of betrayal and torture. And so the next 4 cards are really your super guidance for the month ahead. And please know that when you join the multidimensional yoga membership, I do a reading at the start of every class, and you get the StarPeace portal membership included in the yoga membership. So you want a 2-for-1, you know exactly what to do. And now's the time. Go outside and do it in the garden. You don't have to, wait till September. You can take your phone, you can listen to the replays or go live in your garden or in the woods. It's perfect. All right. So heart of the matter. Fearless SOS star map. What small step can I take? Shift from feeling like a victim to making an empowered choice. When I watch people step forward 3/4 of the way and then they go all the way back, oh no, all right, well, stay in your limbo a little bit longer, love. But what about that small step you can take? Is it available to you? Can you do it? What are you scared of? Meet your fear. Talk to me about what you're scared of, but move through your resistance. The block to that. Oh, consciousness, the 13 C's star map. Quit the autopilot. Conscious awareness is being present, critical thinking, questioning, and choosing to evolve our ideas and intentions. Okay, this is absolutely imperative. So where is your consciousness at? Are you feeding your old world narratives? Oh, I want everything, but I want it at this little, it has to fit into this little box in my life because that's what I do. Doesn't work like that. You're going to have to stretch yourself, but not to the point that you can't breathe. All right. Not to the point that you're in absolute pain. That's not the point. Stretch is uncomfortable, but it doesn't have to be painful. The here and now. Communication, another 13 C's star map. So words are spells. What we emphasize, we energize into being. So consider what you are communicating. What are you saying? How are you saying it? Is it what you want to energize? Because what you focus on grows. And with a stellium, woo! With a stellium, you want to be very mindful of what you're saying because the universe is going, your wish is my command. So the 4th card, dependence, the 12 stages of creation star map. The structures are not yet in place for this manifestation to be able to take care of itself. It needs micromanaging, but neediness leads to self-reliance. Okay, so this is for everyone who likes to do everything on your own and you want to find a YouTube video that's going to do it for you so you can save some money and you don't need to bare your soul to a mentor, a coach, a person that might help you along the way. The you, the infant, the divine child hasn't got a clue how to be in this world, all right? We all have to learn from each other. I work with trailblazers, with mavericks, with visionaries. The path ahead doesn't exist. You are creating it. Do you know how scary that is? I'm one. I know how scary it is, right? There's no path to follow. I haven't got a rule book, someone else's manual to learn and just to regurgitate. So yes, when you're birthing a new version of yourself, you're going to really need support and to tend to yourself and to know you will need help. We all need help. We're learning that the independence myth is a myth. We're interdependent, but what is absolutely fundamental, and this does lean into what we were saying before about divine neutrality, and actually this is perfectly dovetailing into the activation. and it's so perfectly coming through that I forgot what it is. No, I'm just joking. The neutrality piece, the actual allowing yourself, God, it's actually gone. So every time something goes, that is so funny. You know it's important, right? The neediness leads to self-reliance. So from complete dependence comes complete independence. That was it. We're learning, instead of being plugged into each other and effectively being energy vampires, where we get our validation from each other, from that sense of approval, and we give our power away to external authority for validation. Am I pretty? Am I good? Am I going to hell? Am I going to heaven? Am I allowed to be rich? Am I all of that, right? When you choose to plug into source, which comes through divine neutrality, you don't fear closeness and connection, because you know no one can take from you what is yours, what is inside of you. So let that be what brings us into this activation. And interestingly, we've got two, top and bottom of the deck, a call in a miracle, so you can see what you haven't been able to see, and your perception can shift to where change is possible. And find the silver lining in your shitty situations. Okay, what good can come of this? Wouldn't it be nice if? How do I tell the story? Everything we're facing, rising fuel prices, whatever your thing is, how can it be a good thing? What is it teaching us? Where is the benefit? Look for it and you will find it. Okay, let's finish with this activation. So I invite everybody just to have a little rub of your hands. Get your hands really hot. And I want to do a little big up to the divine masculine, because I've had 4 or 5 men reach out recently, all in relation to things I've been putting out on social, saying they're loving what I'm putting out. Divine masculines, stepping forward. Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because we need to remember we all have that divinity inside of us. Then have a little shake. And because we're going to be working with the divine child energy, bring your hands to your solar plexus. Okay. You can have left holding right or right holding left. I'd say left holding right. Give your shoulders a little roll. So we're activating the divine child codes. I'm just going to give a little light language transmission for this and to call in the I am statements. Remember, this is an activation. In 2 weeks' time, the clearing needs to happen. That's why I'm inviting you into the portal. Okay, sit tall with your nose, draw a circle in the air in front of you. That is your safe space that you're going to step into, the portal you're creating. Now draw your nose up and down so you truly are a conduit of source and Gaia's highest frequency coding. Inhale, chin neutral. Exhale, turn your head to the right and release the past. It has no hold on you. It's not who you are. It's just what you've been through. Inhale, center. This is your choice point, 0 point. Exhale to the left. Send your breath into the future. The future isn't bright. It's not orange. It's freaking awesome. It is multicolored. It is rainbow gem. It is beyond your wildest dreams. And then inhale, center. Now drop your chin to your heart. Let the smile in your heart find you. And beam that smile into the sphere you created in front of you, the portal. It activates the ring of fire. This is the fire horse ring of fire. So see your portal as a ring of fire. Expand it and step into it. As StarPeace Collective are coming through, I'm commanding that I'm a pure channel of source, all that is, and that everyone receives exactly what's required on every level of your being in all space and time. Ishta ichikara na suraya siya awanaya oraya siya awanaya iawana ora suya chichiya iawana ora siya iasta awana. Beloved ones, you do not need to fear. What you do not know, what you do not understand, you do not need to fear. Ikarana siya awanaya iawana ora siya iakarana iawana. Ishtaraya chikiya karanaya iasarana churachiye. We invite you now to allow these codes to come through. So as you repeat the statement, I am the divine child, 3 times when we say, we will be transmitting the StarPeace codes coming from source to allow you to activate this in your soul chakra, in your divine architecture, your earth chakra, and in your connection to the core, whatever that may be. So say it with me. I am the divine child. I am the divine child. I am the divine child. Allow that statement to enter your cells, molecules, atoms, subatomic particles, quantum field, and photon stream. Imagine now that in the nucleus of your cells, you have just written the code, I am the divine child. And now this is getting activated in your DNA. We'll just support it. One moment. Nistaraya chikaranaya, kiaya awana suraya chiaya awana. Yarana iaka harana siaya aranaya uaya, yaharana suaya chichiaya uaya su. Breathe out down your body into the earth through the soles of your feet and your pelvic floor. Beautiful. Now just bringing in the next codes. Please repeat these 3 times after. I am safe to experience pleasure. I am safe to experience pleasure. I am safe to experience pleasure. Ishtaraya chiyawanaya koraya kiya akhrana suwaraya chiya niawana oraya siya nikhrana siya inia awanaya uaya kiya nikhrana siya churaya siya susu suraya kiya oraya awanaya yawanaya. Open your crown, receive the blessings freely given, divine grace in operation. Allow grace to flow through you. I am divine grace, I am divine grace, I am divine grace. There's a soft pink flame. It's the frequency of rose quartz, and it's moving through your being and through your feet and your pelvic floor into the core of the earth and through the crystalline grid of the planet and the mycelium network. Let's code, I am safe to receive pleasure, to experience pleasure in your DNA. So just imagine now in the nucleus, and actually the cell membrane, because the nucleus of the gonads of the cell, I am safe to experience pleasure. Write that out and see the cell membrane adjusting now to feel safe. The reticular activation system has been activated for you to see evidence of the fact that it is safe for you to experience pleasure, and you are the divine child. Notice where the light language activates you. And allow a figure of 8 now. Like move your hips in a sideways figure of 8, go both directions, just to harmonize this energy. Deep breath in, anchor into the core of the earth. And calling in the sapphire flame just to surround your sphere, surround your light body, your physical outline and your core, and allow you to feel the safety, the protection, the love of the divine mother energy. We're working with this in the Celestial Alchemy Live. For now, we are complete. Okay, lovely ones. Full on. A lot there. So much there to integrate. So I'm just going to check to see if there are any comments. But I invite you at this point to write your notes. If you've got anything going on that you want witnessed, please put it in the comments. I will do my utmost to pick up any comments and actually respond to them. So I haven't seen any in the chat box, but that doesn't mean they're not there. Sometimes there's a delay. What I would love you to do, though, is please, if you do have a comment, you do have a question, let me know. Okay. And also, I will come back to you probably tomorrow rather than today. I'll make sure the links are there for you to join us. The next Celestial Alchemy Live will be on the 30th, Thursday, the 30th of April. Okay. It'll be at 7 p.m. GMT, sorry, BST. And for those who are my inner circle members, they'll come in at 15:15. The Rise members, you know who you are. So let this percolate, because there's a lot in today's. Make the most of this weekend. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Give thanks for it as though it's already happened, and practice divine neutrality. Practice going back to zero balance to access 0 point field. And if you'd like to join us for yoga, Anyone who's a portal member gets a free class, by the way, so you can try that out. But if you want to upgrade straight away because you want to experience it, remember there's a lot of healing around the feminine that we're doing presently, then you can get yourself a month's pass. I'll put the link in. That will give you access to the StarPeace portal as well. And we meet on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. BST and at 1 p.m. on Fridays BST. So it should work for everyone in whatever time zone. At some point, one of those classes work. So for now, I'm just going to say a huge thank you for being here with me. So much love to you. Thank you for your participation. And I will see you for the Celestial Alchemy Live, and keep an eye out for the in-person events I've got planned. Please do join the RozyGlow mailing list if you haven't already. That's where we're most prolific in the communications. Take care for now.